The Garen did use all his thumbs though, so it did come out on top with that kill.
And I was just saying that Garen went for Ignite rather than Teleport, which is fine, but that means that if he does kind of fall behind, it's really hard for him to get back in the game through macro and just through keeping back to lane to get farm. But since he did get that game from Zac, he's going to be now ahead, which is going to be super helpful, as that Ignite is going to help with Snowball as well.
And oh, Gallo's trying to get some poke down with his E's to try to catch out this Zoe, but none of them are landing.
Yeah. And both of them quite low on mana, but Gallo has option to TP back, and I don't think the spell book has unlocked for Zoe just yet, so
if I'm not mistaken, it should be around 5 to 6 minutes when that unlocks, or maybe even later. And that's when we'll see the Zoe kind of pull ahead of the Galio.
A very impactful ability.
Some more trading in the top lane. Nothing really out of it, just some even trades. Oh, and we do see that because the Renekton did get some farm, he was able to come back to lane with a second Doran's Blade versus Garen's Longsword and Ruby Crystal. Oh, and they're trading. The Garen does seem to be losing this, however, and it seems that he'll die? No. The Renekton's backing up, not wanting to go any further.
Garen here just gonna heal up with his passive here, so he should be okay.
Honestly, not much has gone on other than that top lane kill that the Zac successfully got. I guess that is good, because Renekton is only strong early game and like kind of falls off hard mid game. So if we can force the Garen, if they can force, honestly, the Garen to... Oh, binding lands, hook lands as well. Nothing out of it though, just some trading.
Looking at it, in the farm category here, Zac does have that kill, but he is slightly behind players as Spirit Player isn't the best, and we'll be looking for a game bot lane.
Oh, it doesn't seem to be... Oh, flash on Jinx. Doesn't seem to be very coordinated between the jungler and support throwing the lantern. Get some trading top. Oh, the Renekton did ult, but nothing came out of it. I guess he does stay healthy. Some trading mid lane. Zoe seems to have gotten a ghost and a smite. So the 200 years is coming through on that Zoe.
200 years collection. One of the champions will be appearing here. As Ignite's
Not used on
on
Lucian. A little bit questionable, but they are resetting. None of the ADCs have TP here. I would have actually really liked the Jinx to take TP here, as it is a pretty safe lane with Morgana.
Yeah,
and
I agree. If Morgana can land these, we should be fine.
Ball lane, do spot Zac ball lane. Oh, they're going in on the Zoe. She does have flash, she flashes away. This could be Galio dead. Nope, he's safe. The Jarvan, the man that he is, blocks it for the Galio. But Zac's looking, he goes in. Galio flash. Zac falls up with flash, but Galio E works. Galio's back in. He should die here. That's Zoe flash. Stole that from Galio. And Galio does get out with her ult. Jinx. Oh, Morgana's binding leads into the kill into Fresh. And Garen trades 1-for-1 top lane with Renekton, and we keep fighting in this bot side jungle. Jarvan is chasing the Zac. He does have passive, but there is no... Oh, there's TP on the Galio. Zac goes into his passive. Morgana throws the binding. Galio's up in one. He can't TP. He can't TP and does not.
I think he's on the other team, so it's very hard for him.
Oh! Oh! My mistake! I'm mixing up my colors. Thank you. But yeah, they do get the kill on Zac. He's even set further behind now with the Jarvan taking the kill.
So I feel like this is like, that was overall a good trade. Blue side slightly overextended. The kill wise, I think it was a 2-for-3 if I'm not mistaken. Actually no, it was a 1-for-2. That was a 1-for-2. Garen and second traded, so yeah, 1-for-2, which is overall favorable against the red side. As I think they slightly overstayed their welcome and got punished decently. Obviously, it was perfect execution. That was decent.
Some training on the top side. The Renekton abusing his press the attack to get these favorable trades against the Garen.
Garen really has to build up Conquer or use assets to sustain if he wants to have any chance in this matchup as Renekton will.
Renekton flash, but Garen also has flash, so now they have the same flash timer. I'd expect these two teams to try to abuse this from one another, and we see on the minimap Galio is looking top, but so is the Zac, and the Zoe is answering the Galio. They see the Zac. They see the Zac. He is asleep. The Zac wakes him up though, and there's just trading on the Renekton and the Garen, but the mid lane and jungle duo from blue side is looking to continue top lane here. Zoe gets the flash. And now we have all three red sides, top side, but because of the flash used earlier from the Renekton, Zoe does get away clean and safe.
Absolutely. Yes.
What was it? Garen just walks up to the Renekton, uses his Q, his E, and tries to get the kill, and now we have Jarvan coming in here. We know the Garen has no flash. This should be Garen dead, and that kill goes over the Jarvan. He is so ahead right now of the Zac, even though the Zac does have 2 kills.
Absolutely here, and I feel like he kind of needs to be somewhat. I mean, he doesn't have to be. Oh, as mid lane.
Yeah, we have some fighting here. The Galio does land the taunt, but it doesn't lead to anything. Zac is trying to look for this E here.
I guess the perfect timing.
And the Galio goes in.
No.
He should be safe. Everyone missed their abilities. So there's just an even trade. The Zoe does have heal, so they do have a better 2v2 if the Jarvan does look mid, but he is just pathing to red. It's honestly just pretty even everywhere, other than top lane, where the gold lead is 500, and we have a fight here. Threx hooks in, the flash, Morgana goes in, stopwatches. Zac is here now, so the Jinx will probably die. It will be a 2-for-1 trade for the blue side. And honestly, it's pretty favorable for the Lucian in this lane, because now if... Oh, they're pushing. I'd really hope if they freeze for that Lucian, but I guess that won't be the case.
And we'll go back to a neutral state here. Top lane, again, trading again.
Constant trading, and the Renekton pops his R, keeps going, uses the press the attack he's already popped, and tries to get the solo kill, but, you know, Garen's great at running. His Q gives him nice movement speed, his W allows him to dodge the CC from the W of the Renekton. So it's, they keep trading, but the Renekton does come out on top every so often.
As the trades happen, Renekton is favored here, and does get those favorable trades off, which just, I mean, it has to be good for him, and he has to kind of do that in order to extend his lead. But he does have a quite significant CS lead here, so that will be very favorable to the Renekton, as he'll be able to pick up what I'm assuming is going to be the Black Reaper first time.
Jarvan's looking mid. The support, the jungler, and the mid laner are all mid, trying to go on the Zoe, but she has flash and flashes over the wall. Oh, they're also trading top lane. The Garen tries to go in, but takes 2 tower shots trying to dive with his ignite. His ult probably would have killed the Renekton there if the Renekton didn't try to fight back. But we also have the Jarvan heading top lane, and we also look at the bottom mid map here. Galio is running down. The 2-man, Galio flashes, Thresh flashes out, Lucian flashes out as well. Galio's trying to face tank everything. Morgana Jinx shoots the rocket and lands and flashes forward. This is crazy. Jinx is getting so much gold, but the Sleeping Trouble bubble lands on the... Oh, it's a turn of the fight. What? Zoe lands, gets the kill. Morgana uses her ult. Zoe looks like she might get another kill here, but the Jinx is just getting fed all of this gold through kills. And there's a trade top lane. Renekton dies, and the Jinx is dead. This is not very good at all for red side here.
Very chaotic there. I feel like that fight was... Both sides were winning at one point. They continued the fight, which on the red side ends up being not favorable to them. Jinx went maybe a little bit too hand-blowing, basically the flash, but I mean, Lucian is a kill, right? A kill is a kill, and that was always going to be incredibly far ahead of the Galio here, which should mean that she'll be able to get a lot of pressure into that mid lane. Hopefully win a match. Galio does have that ultimate, but Zoe will hopefully try to kind of be able to arrive in any fight, even though a few seconds later, if possible.
And honestly now, I think we should talk about the items. Because Zoe has built a Medjai's. What do you make of this, Faded?
I think
it's a statement. I think it's a statement to say that the Zoe is just better than their Galio in, like, getting kills and everything, but we have a fight top lane. Garen did come out on top, but Renekton pops his ult, and it kind of turns even. Renekton goes back in, pops to press the attack, but Garen goes back in, but flashes out. Renekton does have flash. From their last engagement, they both got flash, so the Renekton still has flash here. He can do something, but Zac is topside if he decides to go, but he recalls. And Garen's just healing. Garen's going back in. This could be bad for Renekton. If he dies here... Oh, he gets out with his E. But the Zoe is moving top. Oh, Zoe is trying to create some... Oh, the creepy shovel bubble lands! Renekton flashes, Garen just walks in and ults. And because Zoe has heal, he also stays healthy, and then they can probably break this top turret, opening up the top side of the map for the blue side. But Jarvan is looking bot side here, and so is Zac. Jinx just continuously trading with the Morgana. This combo is disgusting. Lucian trying to trade back, but Jinx is just way too strong at this point with 3 kills. Lucian ults, trying to get some poke down, trying to see what he can do for this lane. Jarvan is in the bush, they're turning this. Morgana flash forward, ults, ignites the Lucian. Zac goes in, Jarvan's peeling the Jinx. The Lucian dashes away, but dies to the rocket. Zac dies as well because the Galio came in, and his passive is pop, and it looks like it's another kill towards the Jinx. But Galio takes, and Zoe trades! What's happening here? This Medjai is coming into play! Direct line's a hook! Jarvan does get pushed under the tower. Galio gets knocked in, he dies to the turret shot, there's trading more top lane. Renekton gets a kill. Everything is happening everywhere on the map. Zoe does look like she wants to get something here. Red team is being way too greedy here, and Zoe just picks up another 2 kills for no reason. And she's already at 25 stacks. This Medjai's buy has been way worth it. So, looking at the state of this game, Jinx is ahead of the Lucian, but the Zoe is currently 3,000 gold up on the Galio. This will enable her to completely destroy the rest of the map, because Zoe, as we know, is more of a poke champion than anything, but she can also burst like crazy. So if any time Red team tries to set up for objectives such as Dragon, such as Rift Herald, they're kind of screwed because Zoe exists in this game. What do you think of this, Faded? So it seems we're having a bit of trouble with Faded's microphone. So I will continue to talk about this game here. We have some trading in the top lane, but it probably won't result in anything. If we do look at the item buys, we have... I can't even talk because they're continuously trading. These top laners are so volatile, and the Renekton gets another solo kill. What can this man not do? Solo kill on solo kill on solo kill.
Zac ganked him plenty of times, and he's still able to not fall behind to get a pretty big CS lead of, I believe, 45 CS, and able to still find solo kills, which is incredible here at bot lane.
He's bot lane, he jumps in, oh, Jinx flashes away. It does look like a favorable fight for Red. They do trade for 1-for-1. The Jinx is still alive. Galio's bot lane. He taunts the gap flash. Zoe is there. There's no way Zoe can. Oh, she misses her Q. There's not much else here other than flashes. The Zoe is looking to continue this fight. And the Jinx is dead. The Galio is dead. This Zoe is making such a difference in this game. And the Jarvan's also won. These abilities she's picking up everywhere are ridiculous. And blue team turn on to Dragon.
Yeah, the mid lane is so incredibly ahead. That's gonna just give it a lot. I think top 10 two people, or this top 10. Yeah, this is top 10. Two people to
Team is Cloud 10.
To get other lanes massively ahead here, as always able to roam top lane, find kills onto the next and bot lane, influence fights, and make sure that Cloud 10 comes top. There.
So, I honestly still want to look at these top lane fighting because they're just like, they keep going at it. They both have super aggressive builds and they just want to get at each other's throat. Garen flashes forward, ignites, and ults the Renekton and completely solo kills him. It's just a back and forth who can solo kill each other. But if we look at the minimap, 3 red players are topside. They are looking for this Garen, but he'll just run away. Nothing will result of this. Garen is too tanky.
Yeah.
And Thresh is there as well.
Gonna get him away. Ward not quite on target, and Garen will find his way home. The Lantern.
So now, at this point, it becomes really scary for this lane here. We look at the differences between all laners. It's pretty even top lane. It's pretty even bot lane, where Jinx will be favored to get ahead late game. But then we look at mid lane. Mid lane is where the whole deficit is. What do you think of this, Faded?
Yep. Zoe is so ahead at this point in the game that it's basically very hard to play around anything. Like, it's very hard to siege. It's very hard to go for objectives because the amount of poke that Zoe's able to dish out and the pick potential is so insane.
Climbs the bubble, goes in for poke. Like, that's half his health gone. Nothing he can do. And we're looking mid lane here. It seems as red team does want to try to force something. They land a taunt. Lucian does move up, but he will die to the Morgana, which is unfortunate for the Jinx because that gold could have helped her skyrocket ahead and potentially carry this game. So now we're just kind of still even in what's happening, and Garen's still pushing top, but they're all looking there.
I think so they're not gonna quite go for him here, which, I mean, he's very tanky, very hard to kill, and he has Trinity and he's going into crit, so it's gonna be a very kind of damage heavy Garen build here, which I guess is kind of the norm in a lot of these games. And so
yeah, I'm thinking this Garen build is not only for damage, like you said, he's going into crit, he has the full Trinity Force. He also has Berserker Greaves, because not recently, but they did make a change to his E, where the more attack speed you have, the more times your spinning sword hits. So he does seem to want this, but we also have to take in consideration the movement. Gets Kraven zoom up, they do catch out Garen, they ult him. Jinx is there, free auto-attacking. Jarvan does flash out, and the Jinx gets the kill. That is not a shutdown, unfortunately, but the Jinx does get a kill to kind of bounce back from this unfortunate set of events where her teammates are unfortunately stealing kills from her. Because she is the hard carry here. Morgana flashes in, tries to ult, binds the Thresh. The Galio is looking, they're just going to take the Thresh as the consolation prize here for the turret. Giving over to Jinx. Very nice. Zoe is trying to look bot. The Renekton tries to go for the solo kill. He does! He's 1v2ing! He flashes in, gets the 1,000 gold shutdown on the Zoe, and gets the Zap. But red team is his team. It's a super favorable trade. They will get a turret. The dragon is coming up in a minute, so they can get this next turret and reset for this dragon.
So they'll be able to deny the possibility of soul for quite a while here. And they look siege, although Morgana
does walk up, lands the binding, has has the Zanya's Hourglass, and they get the kill. Morgana does get the kill again. But honestly, it's not that bad. Getting the Lucian right before the Dragon. We have 30 seconds on it. He will not be there. Garen is there. Garen is looking to get a kill here. He does get the Galio, but he's just getting free hit by this Jinx who has 2 items. She flashes forward, cancels her auto, and misses the kill. And now Zoe's here, trying to get killed. Morgana just dies.
Yep.
I don't even think the Zoe was aiming for her.
So if you look at it, Gala doesn't have 2 items, and Zoe has 3 essentially. So huge item disparity here. Bubble gonna land. Jinx gonna die looks like, and the shutdown.
Shutdown for the Zac, that does push him a little bit ahead. It is important for the Zac to be able to tank a lot of this front damage because he is pretty much the only tank first team right now. We do have the Thresh a little bit tanky, the Garen that's a little bit tanky, but the Zac is their tank.
Yeah, he's the tank to Trundle once to ult, basically, if there was a Trundle.
Yes, exactly. More trading topside. The Renekton in this match, I feel like it's even. The Garen, like what's up with this matchup, Faded? I'm honestly unsure.
Yeah, this offlane matchup is again very volatile because both teams are going for straight damage items, and there's gonna be a lot of kills happening here. I think Garen here has gotten to a point is gonna probably be able to fight their Renekton, assuming Renekton starts to fight off with Zero Fury.
Renekton does run in, uses support, forces Lucian to flash.
It's a very good trade. Fork for Flash here. And honestly, the game is pretty even. However, Blue Side does have 3 dragons, so we need to keep make sure that we are.
Jace gets hooked. Zoe tries to go in. Zac goes in, gets rooted. Galio flashes out. Zac flashes in. Garen flashes in. They are gonna kill his Jinx, and that's that. This disengage from Cloud 10 onto the Jinx, who is their almost only solo carry here, is pretty devastating.
They do lose the jungle in the process here, so I don't know if they're really gonna go for the Garen here. Although they might try for it.
Are trying to create some picks around. Jarvan is on the Baron. We see Garen on the minimap trying to go for the flank. He does find the Jarvan. He finds the Galio as well. Galio is dead. Jarvan is still... No, Garen is still in the backline. He does use Ignite on the Jarvan, which results unfortunately in nothing. But it seems they're in Prowl's position to take this Baron. Morgana does line the binding. Renekton goes in, looks for the Zoe, gets the Zoe. He gets hooked. He's looking to try to escape. He gets ignited, and the Lucian does pick up the shutdown gold, shooting him far ahead in his item build.
And I think that after we resolve he's gonna be able to make big progress towards that Infinity Edge, and hopefully he's gonna be able to grab a lot of items and to be able to trade effectively in team fights and be that DPS champion. Although honestly at this point I think Garen also very powerful DPS champion. So they really have 2 DPS champions. I mean, okay, Zoe's bad. You could even consider her a DPS champion, I guess. It's just there's so much damage on the side of Cloud 10. And they have 3 dragons, so the gold is even here, but they do have 3 dragons, so we're gonna have to look out for that Cloud Soul win condition. Although it's not necessarily a win condition, but it's gonna swing the game, I think.
I want to discuss at this time, the gold is even. We see that. Where this name here is slightly ahead, but not by enough of a margin to say they are ahead. So I want to see who is more ahead just based on comps here. Because I feel like that's the most important. When Baron is the target, the Soul is the target, this whole team fighting comp is what we're looking for. Honestly, I'm not sure who it's favored for.
I feel like if both teams were at my elo, i.e. like Iron, I feel like it's favored towards the red side because again, very easier to execute. The comp is kind of just you send people into the enemy backline. If you have Jinx, one-shot everyone. That's kind of the comp.
And also get one-shot by that Zoe.
That's true. 11 and 2 here. Working towards that 4th item. I mean, she has what, like so much AP, and those Qs are gonna hurt for sure.
Those Qs are definitely gonna hurt.
But the blue side, they have more of a kind of wall box comp where they have a bit of everything, and that's gonna give them a lot of flexibility on what excuse me, on what fights they want to take, as there's going to be more type of fights that are favorable to them. But they just need to make sure to avoid the one clear win condition of the red team's call.
I'm just concerned
For the
with... Oh, and Galio's just dead. Renekton flashes in. He does ult. Lucian is trying to run away, and he dies. So Renekton now has complete pressure in this ball lane. Garen did back. Zoe trying to go for this kill. Zac goes in. Jinx flashes out, and it seems like Jinx can free auto here. It's a little bit rough. No, she doesn't have enough space. This is definitely a red win, or a blue win. Thresh flashes in, tries to go for the hook. Zac goes in, and Jinx is dead. Morgana flashes away. Complete utter destruction from the Zoe, and I think that the Zoe completely turns this even quote unquote matchup or like gold into like completely blue favored.
The thing is, on blue side, you have a lot of gold funneled onto the Zoe here, although on this side more spread out, and I think for most types of comps, it's better to have one person having all that gold rather than kind of split gold, as we see here on the red team, when everyone has a bit of gold, except I guess maybe the Milliner. Is not so great in the CS department, but that's Zoe's amazing performance, just getting those early kills and trying to snowballing it by taking control of the lane, and thus the game.
And blue side has the Cloud Soul, which is extremely good for both the Zac, the Thresh, or no, even the like it's good for all their teams other than the Zoe here. So we'll have to look out for that Cloud Soul effects in these upcoming fights and see how Jinx might be able to carry these fights if she is able to free hit, or will Zoe just be able to burst the entire team?
And like, oh, Zoe bubble out the Jinx here.
They are trying to look. Garen flashes in and instantly kills the Garen, or the Jinx. Garen keeps looking in, gets another kill. It's 3-0. They're looking to Baron.
I think they will get the Baron here. I mean, there's really not much a potential deal, and I don't think that's quite what happened. A little, maybe I guess. And it's not really their only hope, as if this Baron does fall into the hands of C10, it's gonna be very hard for them. As I feel like with the Zoe being so bad, they're gonna have a siege with Baron extremely well, and it's gonna be very difficult. For the red side too for the game.
Zoe just is trying to keep this Jarvan out of the pit. He does go in. VA is popped. They will look to burst him before getting this Baron low enough, allowing them to secure this Baron. They should probably all reset here, look mid, and completely open this game. The Renekton did ult. I'm assuming that they had a fight again, the top laners, and again it comes out even.
And then after that fight, C10 is now up, what, 4,000 gold? Almost. And very difficult. Gonna be for the red side to defend against this Baron buff, because I feel like Garen here is far ahead enough that he can out-pressure anyone in the side lane, and just like 1v1 anyone. We saw what he did to the Galio, we saw what he did to the Renekton, and well, in the early game was quite even, but in the later stages, I feel like he's just gonna be stronger with that AD build.
And we see Garen is also building Death's Dance, which has pretty much plagued this game for at least 3-4 patches, with how strong it is for preventing damage and for healing, and the Renekton does pick that up as well. So it's honestly... Oh, Jarvan's looking mid. We have a fight. Zoe does bubble in. It doesn't hit. They're trying to peel back. The blue team is trying to peel back. Garen is coming in from the flank. He goes in on the Galio. They knock him up. Garen is trying to run now. He gets stunned constantly, but Jinx is dead, and this is a completely one fight for blue side, 100%. We have Renekton trading in the back, actually. Zac does die. They do kill the Renekton. It's pretty even, but the Zoe is still alive. Zoe picks up 2 other kills, and honestly, looking at these death timers, this should be game.
Yep, that definitely is game with a little bit Baron buff, and Garen, again, really good tower taking with that build, and a lot of top speed and a lot of AD. and the hope of the game. So it will be a 34-minute victory, I think, for the South P10. Mid lane, honestly, I felt like this game was just Zoe completely out pressuring, out damaging, out everything the Galio, and kind of
Honestly, just turn the fight and they
that lead.
And they take this game. It's 1-0 for Cloud10.
And she's able to just influence side lanes as well as continue to grow her own lead, right? Because some champions or some players, I guess, they would focus on side laning so much that they would allow their lane opponent to somewhat catch up, but she never did that, or she never allowed her lane opponent to catch up and continue dominating the lane as well as the game.
I definitely agree. And honestly, looking at this game, I'm definitely giving MVP to the Zoe. She pushed extremely far ahead in the early game, roamed in the map better than Galio, which I'm honestly very surprised about, and allowed her team to get ahead and push this game to a complete victory.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with you. She will be the MVP here. What do you think about the best player on the losing team for the red side?
So I'm thinking it's honestly a toss-up between the ADC, which was Jinx, and the top laner, which was Renekton. I'm honestly favoring a little bit towards that Renekton, as he was able to control his laner in those mid to early game kind of points of stage, but once it became late game, it was basically out of his control. The Jinx was getting caught too often. Morgana was having trouble peeling for that. It was kind of a mess on that bot side, and they did give them the carry, so it's a little bit questionable if that Jinx can carry if she is positioned better. But Renekton definitely has my kind of player of the team for team name here.
But he was able to have a good control of the lane, despite being kind of, I wouldn't say camped, but ganked several times by the Zac and once by the Zoe as well. So he's able to exert some pressure while still kind of having some control of the lane, at least in the early game. But once the late game comes, obviously Zoe allowed his team, the Garen, to also get incredibly fed, and it was downhill from there. But he was able to maintain some. Where he had a decent performance, at least in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, it was completely out of team name here's control once that Zoe got fed, bought that what was it, Medjai's on her second back. Yeah, and then she got 3 kills bot lane, immediately putting her at 25 stacks. I'm thinking it was pretty much over then, and then just snowballed into utter defeat for team name here.
Absolutely, and Zoe the F-head Zoe is very scary, and that was certainly the case here. And they were just unable to contain the Zoe when Zoe got fed. The Medjai's purchase, which I felt was a little bit too early, ended up being the perfect time to get 25 stacks within the next 3 to 5 minutes, and just completely take over the game from there. And TNH is unable to do anything about this. The Vector was able to kill him once or twice. She did get killed once or twice, but it didn't matter. She was just so dominant, and the game just slipped out of their hands once she got there.
I definitely agree, and I think that pretty much wraps up this whole game. We're gonna jump to a short break to next view the next game of TNH and Cloud10, where they swap sides. And we'll see how maybe the Zoe's put a little bit more priority on the TNH. And we'll see the result of that game in a short bit. welcome back. I'm Monkey, and joining me is I'm Faded, and we're getting right into game 2 of this name here and Cloud 10.
Get the draft here. There's some differences. Okay, well, first of all, we have the Zoe ban out. I feel like that was a pretty justified ban after what happened in game number 1. And they are gonna first pick. They're gonna trade Volibear for Zach here, which has worked out for C10 quite decently. And they're gonna pick Mordekaiser into the Kled. How do you think about that matchup? Or what do you think about that matchup? Sorry.
So, I'm a little bit Kled favored here. Even though Mordekaiser does have some great dueling potential and Kled's a little bit more burst, I do like the Mordekaiser more. Just also for late game as well, where Kled is more of an engage here. And if we look at the rest of C10's comp, they don't really want to engage. They have Vayne, they have Azir, they have Bard. Well, Bard a bit more of the engage, but Vayne and Azir want to kind of have peel fights. So I do like the Mordekaiser just in general here. And then we go to the Thresh pick for B3, followed by the Bard as an answer for R3. What do you think of that, Faded? I'm a little bit on the fence here with a bit more Bard favored, but I'd wonder what you think of it.
I feel like with Vayne in here, it's not gonna be too easy for Thresh to find hooks. So I feel like Bard, he can't exactly just perma roam since it is a Vayne against Lucian Thresh. But I feel like he's not in he's able to make Bard work, and I think Bard is overall very kind of toolboxy champion, which I think kind of fits decently well into C10's team comp here. As a kind of he can engage, but he can also kind of somewhat peel for his very powerful carries or very kind of late game hyper carries in Vayne and Azir, which I think is just going to in this game anyways. They're gonna have a big impact. Wins should be able, in theory, to shred 3 members of TNH in Volibear, Mordekaiser, and Thresh, and the carries on TNH are not the most mobile. I mean, Lucian does have an E, but Orianna is pretty mobile. So he's engaged in Zac, Kled, and even Azir with the Shurima shuffle is not gonna be the hardest thing. But I also think that the Mordekaiser is gonna have lots of good targets to ult. I feel like he's probably able to just kind of outduel most people. I mean, Vayne and Azir obviously they can outplay him, but I feel like if he just ult somebody, and then the 4v4, I think it's gonna be a bit more favored on TNH side if he manages to find it all.
What I find super interesting here is actually Lucian was picked for B4, and the response to that was B4, B5, Vayne, Azir. So they, Cloud 10 not knowing where Lucian would go, responded with a Vayne and Azir, and I think Lucian is great into both Vayne and Azir if you want to put the Lucian mid lane or bot lane. And then TNH confirms that they want the Lucian bot lane with the Orianna B5, but honestly, I think it's a pretty even game, and let's just jump right into the game.
Yeah. So one last thing before we do, Lucian was picked. Vayne was picked before Lucian, and Azir was a response to Orianna, as they were on mid side. So,
oh,
to clarify that.
whoops,
Vayne,
my bad.
Vayne was picked before. So Lucian was the counter to Vayne, and B5 and C10 had that last pick. They see the Orianna and they picked Azir into it. So it's slightly less int by the coach of C10. So don't fire him yet.
Yes, perfect. So let's just jump right into the game.
Asagi!
And we are in game. It looks like blue team really wants to go for this 5-stack on bottom Tribush. I'm not sure what they're looking for. They might try to engage with invade with the Thresh, but red team is setting up their 5 points to defend against this. Bard a little bit slow though, which might be his downfall here.
There's no time.
They spot the invade.
Flash will have to be used for Bard here.
They did force Bard Flash, which is actually super good for them. For the blue side, because now with the Bard Flash down and bot lane having a winning matchup, this should be not only free ganks for bot lane, but the bot lane should completely dominate this lane.
absolutely here. And there's just gonna be a lot of pressure gone from the tennis balling and a lot more into Evolution and Thresh, or not a lot more, but they're able to basically kind of grow a lead, and they're gonna do it very easily, as Bard will not be able to walk up as far as he usually wants to do.
Pretty normal starts on both sides. Both sides are starting on red, or on bot side rather. But the Volibear will have a faster clear. It looks like he is pathing immediately bot side, looking for this Bard flash. If you look at that mini map, trading in mid.
So I think they're going for a level 2 into gank, and then either they're gonna build up a slow push to get level 2, gank, and then crash the wave, or something similar to that as Volibear comes in.
They're going on the Vayne, which is questionable here. Vayne has flash, and she uses it, so it's a trade for flashes. And pretty much nothing more, other than a bit of health. It's still favorable for blue side, but I don't think the Volibear should have done that. He should have just tried to pass and keep getting his level 3 where he's actually his strongest.
Top lane here, Fled not quite able to find too favorable to a trade. But we look at the passing, and Zach is gonna be one camp ahead. Oh, Volibear, which should never happen, but it happens here because of the game.
And if we look at the mid map, Zach is trying to look mid lane. Orianna's trying to get trades. Zach is charging his E. He's going in, trading in top side. But nothing to come out of it.
And we still have a quite chill game here. Nothing too big is happening here. And
Orianna does have some pressure on the mid lane, but she's running out of mana. Will probably back here. More trading top side. Favorable E. Dismounts Kled. And he's trying to get Kled back, but Mordekaiser is trying to trade back here to get his health low. Kled goes in. They are trying to look for this fight, but Kled realizes that Mordekaiser's actually broken this early on to the game. I didn't think that was possible, but Zach is looking top.
yeah, Kled remounts, but it's not that big of a. Normally remount, you can so much come back, but because you built a lot on his health. Oh, is that coming in though?
The TP's committed. The Zach flashes. The Mordekaiser flashes. Oh, this is definitely first blood for Mordekaiser. Are they gonna give it? Oh, they're TPing. Azir's committing his TP, but the Zach will die anyways. The Azir TP's way too early. And the Orianna flashes to dismount? I'm sure she's aware of the passive, but completely forgot that was the case. Every lane for blue side seems to be ahead. This name here.
First game, blue side was winning. Second game, looks like blue side's also winning. Maybe perhaps the size selection difference. As we move, I'm kidding, but I mean, blue side does have a high win rate, especially in competitive play.
It seems a lot of teams do favor that first pick power, whether it be in their solo lanes that are the strongest or ADC, but Kled is mids trading. That's pretty much it. It's just trading. Yeah, I definitely agree. Blue side does seem a lot more favorable than red side most of the time. I've seen the priority of the first pick broken, such as, I know it wasn't this game, but Orianna's a great first pick because of her great laning. But other than that, I'm not sure what else you can do with blue side.
Yeah, so looking at the game here, I mean, it's pretty even. Blue side is 1,000 gold ahead, 1,100 gold ahead, in fact. But there's no like major lead. Like top one has a kill and a decent disadvantage, but that's like all of the advantages, I guess, for blue side. And bot lane, the wave is gonna push back into Lucian, so they could look for something here. But again, the flash on Bard is up, and Vayne is not quite up. So maybe they can look for a kill onto Vayne. If, Volibear is gonna pass to. I mean, he is passing towards the bot side for that first dragon, obviously.
Yeah, they are looking aggressive. Lucian does dash in, but gets stunned into the wall. They use Ignite on the Vayne. They know she has no flash, but the Ignite is traded onto the Lucian. Bard flashes forward. Heal is used. They're looking to turn on the Bard. Press the attack is off. Dress is looking for the hook, but the cooldown is not up.
Well, that's a good, I think, favorable trade for the side of Lucian and Flash, as they're able to burn the Flash of Bard, and without using their own flashes. Obviously, the heals were traded, but you know, Flash again, another big thing here, especially with both teams having a good amount of engage.
Are trading in the top side. It seems to be always Mordekaiser favored. He did build the Seekers first, which is, in my opinion, like the strongest item into any AD matchup. Whether you're mid lane, you're top lane, even if you're bot lane and you're an AP carry, such as Syndra, such as Vladimir, if people still do play that, Seeker's Arm Guard is really, really strong into any AD champ.
But honestly, I think in current meta, why you would want to play a mage bot lane is because you're able to wave clear effectively, and I feel like some people will prefer the last chapter to get that mana in order to wave clear effectively. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't play bot lane. Actually, I do play bot lane, but not mages, so I might be quite ignorant, and that could be incorrect, but it's just my take on it.
Early Dragon from blue team here, using that Volley Bear's power. Orianna is helping him over the wall. Pretty favorable. It is an early Ocean, which is great for pretty much all lanes. Lucian to stay healthy, Orianna to keep getting mana from poking, and Mordekaiser just staying healthy as well.
It's gonna be a plate to the Mordekaiser. Trades are still going in favor of him. Clint did pick, or not, but Clint does have that Grievous Students, which is going to be somewhat useful, I guess, when he does have that Conqueror proc and the healing reduction, but that's probably not going to play a big card because he is considerably
trades health, and that's pretty much the engagement. She wants to try to get her opponent low so she can push in the wave and back. She does have no mana, like I did mention. That's what the Ocean Soul will help her with. Seeing what she can do mid lane versus the Azir, who just wants to kind of scale, just like this Vayne. So if blue team does pull ahead in this early game, we are going to look at a pretty detrimental, like, uphill battle from red side.
Yep, but I think late game fights, they have a decent, a good chance, I think. Azir and Vayne, very powerful fights with Zac, and Bard would provide some utility as well. So I think
Ashline's the hook on the Vayne. They use the Ignite, gets to press the attack off, and Lucian completely obliterates the Vayne.
Sounds like calling, and looks like it's gonna find nothing but air. But they will be able to push that wave in, and I think grab a couple of plates as well. So that's gonna be very favored towards the blue side here. And as we look at the early items, both falling are going to be fork. Very not surprising. And I feel like blue is quite considerably ahead here, even in the gold and the objective. Both the gold carrier and the objective carrier is there to pick up that Rift Herald before 10 minutes. So they're going to be able to use that on a tower with plates, which is good for them.
Nothing come out. The supports kind of engaging in a spaghetti noodle war, perhaps hitting each other, trying to back, get these nice base timings and whatnot. And right now, if we look at the items, the Orianna and Azir are pretty much on the same page. The Volley, however, is extremely ahead of the Zac, finishing his jungle item already. We have a lot of armor on this Mordekaiser, which might be the end of him, honestly. Because if we look at this team, the only thing this armor does is good against the Kled. Oh, and he does ult. We're engaging in a fight. This Kled is trapped. He should die here. He is in his small form. Mordekaiser is beating up on him. He gets Kled back, and he eats away. Lucky him.
Is that the thing that he mounts on Squirrel or Kled?
It's
I'm kind of
Kled.
confused.
No, Scarl. It is Scarl. It is Scarl. You're right.
Because I was confused. I don't know. I haven't seen a Kled being played in quite a while. So
Zach is looking top.
that's
Forces the Mordekaiser flash. He does ult. This Mordekaiser has no flash. He just used it. Has no ult either to create a 1v1 scenario. And the Mordekaiser's just dead here. And we're looking mid. The Orianna flash. The Bard also flashes. And they're looking bot lane as well. Volley's going for the dive on the Vayne. The Vayne is low, uses flash heal, and is 1 health. What can they do? Oh, the smite from Volibear, the disrespect. And we have Azir here who should die. They use the heal. Bard stuns over the wall. And they're turn on the Bard. And it looks like he's dead as well. What an unfortunate series of events for Red Team. And now the Lucian is 3-0, completely out of the Vayne. The Vayne will not be able to do anything for the rest of the game. And the Mordekaiser's looking mid again, and he goes for the kill. He's diving the turret, but doesn't commit. And now blue team has complete control of this bot side jungle, taking the Gromp, taking the blue buff. There's nothing more this blue team wants than to have complete control, and it looks like they might turn onto Dragon if they can look for this Zac, clearing vision, getting the scuttle.
This is when snowballing truly kind of happens, right? Like, if you get advantage, you're going to deny your opponent the opportunity of coming back by crippling their economy, by like taking jungle camps, getting control on the map, and just really being in control and leading in this game. I think that they're going to be heavy favorites for this game. At this point in the game.
Blue side had control of the river just there. And it seems there's red team who wants to take this and turn on the Lucian, who is 3-0. So this is a big shutdown. They get the hook off. Looks like the Vayne might get it, but the Kled gets the shutdown. Blue team does get the dragon, however, on the other side of the fight, but they are looking to get the bot lane killed here. Kled is going for the dive. He does have Skarl. Dismounts, and Vayne does not get the kill. Although the Kled does get ahead, the Vayne is in a detrimental spot.
I think that the Vayne would have died there if Bard W didn't come through, but maybe I'm wrong. Very clutch, I think. I think it was clutch. As Azir, he has ultimate here, not gonna go for the Shurima shuffle, and it's just going to, or maybe he didn't have flash. Yeah, he didn't have flash, so I guess he couldn't have. But maybe he got a trap. I don't know. Overall, very like the kills, it's even. But blue side is up 2 dragons, over 2,000 and 2,100 gold, which is very fair on them. And the jungler is massively ahead in the CS department. The bot lane is ahead as well, and I think it's just gonna be very difficult for red team to kind of scale up their 2 hyper carries.
Yeah, and if we look at the gold differences here, both gold detriments are both on top lane and jungle, where the blue team is ahead on both those carries. So if this continues, we might see, oh, and as well as the 80 carry, I did not see that. And we just have some fights top lane here. The trading, trying to dismount Skarl, but it does not happen. So Lucian is ahead 1,000, Volley is ahead 1,000, Mordekaiser is ahead 1,000. This team is in a very, very hard spot to red team.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for them to come back in this game. I mean, there is hope in their hyper carries, and they can always pop up. But that hope is, I wouldn't say diminishing by the second, but it's fairly small in my opinion. I mean, they are not down too hard, so that's right. So.
Now the question is, how do you get back into this game? What do you have to do as red team to get back into this game?
So it's very interesting, right? Because they didn't get their they don't really have one member that's super fed, so there's not going to be a lot of bounty gold. So you can't really just kind of go on one person and get the kill and maybe get a trade and then kind of profit off that. I feel like they're just gonna have to take team fights where they have the numbers advantage to try to kind of neutralize the gold disadvantage by having
Ori's going on.
the Oriana
Goes for the
shockwave.
create. 1 health. She has no flash, but gets the kill on Azir. Solo kill. This is super, super bad for red team. Now all 4 lanes are behind, and so is Zac.
So
Super behind, but they are trying to go in mid. Oriana
And
flashes
flash.
out, grabs the lantern.
Vayne does use ult here, not really gonna be able to find anything here. As
Gets
the
hooked.
hook will land onto Vayne.
They are trading mid, but nothing happens. And there's more trading topside.
There's more trading, and bot lane is just brawling it out. I mean, the top lane is.
While in bot lane, the top laners... Oh, the ult goes out, and the Kled is dead. Nothing he can do. He's so behind right now. There's no way to fight this Mordekaiser. And if I'm not mistaken... Oh, Bard's dead. No, he flashes out. Zac goes in, uses his E, uses his ult. The heal is forced out. The ignite on the Thresh. Lucian does take 2 power shots, and Volley is here. Volley ults in, doesn't disable the turret, so is getting hit. Zac's passive does get activated. Lucian is trying to go for that kill. They kill the Lucian. Zac kills the Lucian, and Mordekaiser 1v1s the Azir. This game is extremely explosive.
Yeah, a lot of action, and that's been happening for this, the past game, in the last game as well. So these 2 teams are really, they both really have that aggressive playstyle. As Kled is gonna.
Alton thinking the Mordekaiser would run down, but instead runs to the left.
Yeah, he's gonna say thank you for that. Blue buff not quite. He doesn't have the time, and I think if I was on the blue side, I would just go for that dragon and just try to work towards that cloud.
So they will try to deny the blue buff from Zac and from the Azir. And then they'll probably turn on this dragon. It is Wind Soul, so it is very, very good for their 3 carries. Well, honestly, all 4 of them other than Thresh, Wind Soul, or Wind? Air Soul.
As the hook not quite able to, he's unable to do the math required in the geometry to get that Bard out of the tunnel, but still, I mean, they're being forced away, and they're losing in their own jungle. They're forced to run out of their own jungle here. They're just gonna have complete control with the river. Their jungle.
Oriana gets the Vayne low. She flashes out. Lucian flashes in. They're turning on the Bards. Zac jumps in on the Lucian, gets a 3-man knock, knocks up 3 again, hits the Oriana into the tower. Zir's freezing in the back. The Mordekaiser is fighting the Kled, but red team is winning this fight on the other side of the Death Realm. Zac keeps going in. Azir goes in to try to pick up this kill, but cancels his auto. Now they're all turning on the Mordekaiser, but Mordekaiser will definitely be able to 1v3 here. Volley flashes in to help the Mordekaiser, but everyone runs. Zac lives with a sliver of health, running his little legs back to his base.
Overall, the Kled going back onto the Mordekaiser here.
Yeah, they're trying to get the trade, but the Mordekaiser's so far ahead. The Kled can't do anything. The Mordekaiser has his W, he's not paying attention. And the Kled just dies.
And I mean, overall, I think it was over.
Oh, he's going in again. Disables the turret, gets the Zac, and escapes with the TP from the Oriana coming in.
Playing with fire there, not gonna be punished. I mean, they can't. She couldn't be punished there, as Vayne just didn't have the damage nor the positioning to knock her into a wall. You know, just be, Oriana getting away with playing with fire, which I mean, they're getting away with. This game looks like, I mean, it's not really getting away. They were ahead in the beginning of the game, and
They start.
Yeah.
Vayne's bot lane. Zac just recalled, or is in base.
There
Both
is no way
are in mid lane.
they can fight this dragon. And
It's a free Baron. It's a 20-minute Baron. This game, I'm convinced it's over at this point. The Vayne and the Azir are so far behind. The Mordekaiser are so far ahead. There's not really anything Cloud 10 can do.
Give the crown over to the Blues team, as they're just incredibly ahead, and they got Baron. It's 20-minute Baron. How do you fight that? It's very hard. They're gonna lose a lot of That's here. I think all the inhibits will probably fall, if not inhibits will fall here, and it's just gonna be very painful. On blue side, because you just feel like you're slowly losing, and that's what's happening right now. Is they're just slowly losing, although it might be quickly losing, as they're certainly ahead and they're pushing it there.
What these previous fights have shown us is that Cloud 10 has nothing to stop this Mordekaiser, has nothing to stop the free hit of the Orianna engage. Nothing to stop this volley from just ulting under tower. He even has a righteous glory because he does want to keep diving these fights. I'm convinced that if Cloud 10 can pull off a miracle in defense and peel for both the Azir and the Vayne, this game is over.
Yep, and I feel like this game, I feel like they just need to win. They just need to find 1 or 2 picks, and then they will get the inhib. They will probably transition that into a soul take, and it just feels that if you are red team at bot lane, trading 1v2, not able to die here and bring down the inner mid tower.
They are trying to get disengaged. Kled does miss his ult very, very badly, and that's the end of that. And Mordekaiser gets free hit on turret because the Azir, although it is Azir and he attacks a lot, he doesn't have lethal tempo. He doesn't have Conquer, so his damage is not ramping up. All he has is Comet, and all he can do is honestly just poke this guy.
Yeah, and it's gonna take him a while to just even kill him. I mean, he has the best armor, not MR, but he's still very hard to kill. The health is still there, the levels are still there. And if you look at the levels, I mean, every lane is down 2 levels except ball lane, and it's just very difficult to play as their soul lanes are just gonna get completely out 1v1 and outdueled in the silence.
Mordekaiser, oh, they're going for the Bard. Bard flashes, gets healed. Zach goes in, ults 3, E's 3. They're looking for the Orianna. Will they get this kill? No! The Bard does ult the Ori? This is 100% a lost fight for red team here. The Bard made a mistake. Oh, Azir's coming in on the flank. Volley's looking in. Zach gets the knockup on the Thresh, puts them together, but the Mordekaiser's there. Volley and Mordekaiser are strong together. Mordekaiser catches the Azir. Azir gets a triple kill. The Mordekaiser is still alive. The Azir flashes away, but still dies. The Mordekaiser's looking in, flashes forward, gets an auto attack, misses both of his abilities, and is looking for this Kled, for making sure he does not clear the wave. And that Mordekaiser gets the kill. Uses Zanya to make sure he lives and runs. Vayne is looking as well, and Vayne gets the kill. Uses flash for it, but it's definitely worth it because that's 1,000 gold in her pocket.
And she certainly hasn't been, I guess, wasn't able to complete the items. You'll finally, I think, with that kill, get to that 2-item quote-unquote power spike at 24.5 minutes. So it's not exactly early, and I think that, well, just the 4-item. It's not gonna be like there's not gonna they're not gonna.
Cloud 10's trying to deny the soul from blue team. They understand how powerful it is, and they secure it. The ensuing fight is coming. Double the TP on the ward. Volley is in front. Fled is trying to create space. He flashes out. Blue team is peeling back. Vayne is trying to look in, but nothing comes of it. Cloud 10 secures the dragon and runs away.
We delay the soul 5 minutes, but I feel like what happened in the last 2 fights it's just been, they're delaying the inevitable in my opinion. It's just so hard for them to do anything. I mean, they're so far behind the gold part, and their carries aren't gonna come online, and even if they do, like even if they get to their 4 items, because the blue team is so far ahead in gold, they're able to mitigate that damage with either defensive items or just like utility. Not utility items, but that's still like luxury items to be able to, I guess, control the type of carries of C10.
Protobelt in.
If they do have a line.
Protobelt's in. Dodges the Bard ult. Kills the Bard for free. And Zach is in. Ult 4. Kled is coming in to follow up. Thresh lands the hook. The blue team is just peeling back. Azir does get ulted into the Death Realm, and it seems he's just dead. Mordekaiser's just running over this game. He should have Zanya's. He walks out, has his shield, and it's pretty much game from here. They just run it in. The TP in from the Orianna. Zac tries to Ian. The Kled dies. The Zac should die here. Vayne dies. It's game. They're just gonna run it in mid. Don't even need Baron. There's not much to say.
C10 just here taking down here by a very powerful kind of pump that got extremely ahead, and they will be for 10,000 gold ahead. One Nexus falls, and it will fall. And that will be game 2.
Oh, they are tower diving though. Seems a little bit BM. They can just win this game. They want to extend a little bit, get that damage number out, but game is complete. Now, looking at this game, Mordekaiser is obviously extremely strong here, but I'd like to highlight the fact that Volibear was also able to create plays around the map. And I believe, for me, he is the MVP for Cloud10. His plays around the map, his enabling his carries to get ahead as well. Other than the Mordekaiser did great in lane, but the Volibear was able to get the Orianna, the Lucian, just far enough ahead of the Vayne and the Azir where it didn't, that outscaling was not possible.
I think Mordekaiser was more of a kind of solo 1v9 champion in this game. Volibear was more of the team player here, helping his team get ahead. But Mordekaiser is more of the kind of, I try to 1v9 and kind of dishing out as much damage as possible. So I think both of them should be, praised in this game, but based on their performance. What do you think about the side of C10 then? Who do you think performed the best?
It felt like it kind of a little bit of a mess everywhere. But if I were to give it to anyone, I think it was the Kled. He was able, although Mordekaiser did get fed and pretty much ran over the game at some point, that's a very hard matchup for Kled. Kled completely gets obliterated by Mordekaiser, and he was able to not only live, but kind of trade favorably in some scenarios. And honestly, that's pretty much the best you can hope for this game, because it was kind of that Kled was their answer to allow Vayne and Azir to get ahead in this game, but it didn't end up being so.
Well, I think that's gonna be it for this match. There will be another game, or another match, gonna happen in a few minutes. I think we'll take a short break, and yeah, we'll be hopefully back in a few minutes.